fourth quarter battle brewing here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, tied at 96. One player you could see active on the bench always is Jordan Bell. Whether it's the pregame high fives or yelling instructions down the court to his teammates, you could tell Bell is a player with a ton of experience and a vocal leader on this team. But following the first two games of the season, the Mad Ants ranked 28th in the G League in assists. But over the course of the next 9 wins, this team shared the ball a whole lot more. And the Santa Cruz Warriors to town this week as this team is on game 4 of a 6-game homestand. In total, the Mad Ants only have 3 away games this month, spending plenty of time in Indianapolis. Well, that 15-2 showcase record is no more as the Mad Ants start clean with a 0-0 record starting tonight for the regular season. Well, Oscar Sheetmate told me on Wednesday he's pretty close with Pacers first-round pick Ben Shepherd, and he joked and said that Ben Shepherd comes in a time or two taking his rebound. Jarris, this team did not lead until the final 2 minutes of this game. You trailed the whole way. Talk me through those final minutes. How did this team win it? Craig, 11 straight wins for this team. A lot of them you guys have made look easy, but this one hard fought from start to finish. How did you guys win the fourth? The Monon Bell staying in Greencastle. How does that sound?
Let's go!
Thanks, Coach. Congrats. Jarris, what a game for you. But only 6 points at halftime. You had nearly double that in the third quarter to finish with 30 points in your Mad Ants debut. What adjustments did you make at halftime to lead this team to a win? And this is an opportunity for you to get a ton of playing time here in the G League. What do you think you proved about yourself as a player today in these minutes? And Kyle, for you, it seems like every game you have the most fans in the stands. What's it been like being able to play in your home state again and have that support of family and friends here? Well, Kyle, this team led as many as 17 in this game, but in the fourth quarter, tied 99-99. How did this team pull it out? Coach, tough start for this team offensively, trailing 13-4 at the first time out, but coming out of that break, 8-2 run for this team. What early adjustments did this team make offensively? Sitting by court, I heard Wenyan Gabriel describe this defense as scrappy. You guys still held them to 48 points, first 11 turnovers, despite trailing. What did you like most about the way this team defended? This win, you guys clinch the top seed in the Showcase Cup. How does that feel knowing you guys are going to go down to Orlando with the #1 in front of your name? Duo Malik Fitz and Pete Nance strong in that first half, combined for 35 points. What adjustments do you need defensively to limit those two guys in the second half? Well, Kendall, career night for you, 23 points in this one. You were hitting threes strong in the paint, couple dunks. How were you able to be so effective all around the floor? And Sunogo, a big part of their offense. What adjustments do you make defensively in the second half, especially taking in the fact Oscar Sheetway with 3 fouls? Jordan Bell had made some noise, big dunks, huge blocks, but he made 2 critical baskets in the final 2 minutes. How important of a role did he play in tonight's win? Down at halftime, but it's a close game. You need to come back to win it. What was your message to your guys in the locker room? And this team going to the playoffs now, how do you balance the excitement of this and focus on what's ahead? 1-point game here at Gainbridge, and for Indiana native Kyle Mingus, it's always been a dream growing up to play at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Sure, it may have been a few different names for him growing up, but he came to Pacers games, Big Ten championships, and more in this building. He played high school ball at Warsaw College at Indiana Wesleyan, and then took his talents overseas. But when he had the opportunity to come back and play in his home state, he couldn't say no to this opportunity. He says he absolutely loves playing in this building, and you've seen it. He's been showing off in the first few games of this season. Well, November is Native American Heritage Month and an opportunity to highlight one of the staff members here with the Mad Ants. Assistant coach Justin Wetzel is a Blackfeet Indian and is the founder of the Native American and Indigenous Peoples Basketball Coaches Association. It was a group that was formed to share resources and videos with coaches across the country, but it's really taken off from there, and it's been a resource to share knowledge and opportunities to an underrepresented group, and also to highlight the talented players and coaches in Indian country. Now, there aren't many Native American coaches at the professional or college level, but Justin, he's one of them, and he takes great responsibility in that, as well as pride in his culture. If he could use one word to describe him, it'd be Blackfeet Indian, and that culture has taught him 2 things: perseverance and resilience, 2 characteristics he brings into his basketball career. Meet Tristan, Craig's 10-year-old son, who I'm pretty sure is going to have some pretty cool stories to bring back to the classroom with him after break. Tristan sits near the bench during games, defends and rebounds for every single player during warm-ups and shoot-around. Plus, he gets up his own shots before and after games. He even hit up the Pacers team store today, showing off his new Obi Toppin jersey for game day. I asked him if Obi was his favorite Pacer. He said it's a tie between Obi and Tyrese, but his favorite NBA player, that one's going to have to go to Steph Curry. Gamebridge, Mad still trailing here in this second. Well, 18 points, 11 rebounds, moves Jordan Bell into 10th all-time in Mad Ants double-doubles. Jordan Bell has been a constant veteran presence on this team since the start of the season, and he brings a ton of NBA experience with him. As you guys have mentioned, Bell won an NBA championship in his rookie season with the Warriors and has spent time with multiple NBA teams. Coach Hankins said earlier he's just a guy who leads by example and a crucial vet on this team. A big reason why this team sits at 11-1. Even Kyle Mangan told me in his post-game conversation how much of an impact he has made. So clearly a positive influence based on his experience and character. An obvious hustle, as we saw earlier in the second, nearly taking out 2 rows of chairs behind the Herd bench. Well, college hoops is in full swing, and a few of the Mad Ants two-way players got in on the fun with a little friendly wager. Former Kentucky Wildcat Oscar Tshiebwe and Miami Hurricanes alum Isaiah Wong made a bet a few weeks ago, when their two teams faced off. The loser would have to wear the other player's college jersey. Well, Kentucky came away with a convincing win over Miami, so Wong had to pay his dues last night. Isaiah came to practice sporting a bright blue Kentucky Wildcats jersey with Tshiebwe written across the back. Oscar, he called his Christmas present to Isaiah, had to wear it the all practice, providing some entertainment for this team, but in good spirits. Tshiebwe told me earlier this season the two ways, especially on this team, are super close, and he considers Isaiah to be one of his best friends. Now's Mad Ants trailing by 2 in the second. When their game against the Squadron last week, Jarvis Walker struggled in the first half, then came out of the locker room at halftime and turned everything on, finishing with 38 points, a career high for him. Head coach Tom Hankins told me that it looked like Walker had a conversation with himself at halftime. He was very quiet in the locker room, and he could tell he needed to pick it up a level. Hankins said that he came out on fire. He was locked in and focused, like I mentioned, career high night, and he hasn't stopped scoring since. Already through the first quarter, 13 points for Jarvis Walker. Quarter Mad Ants with a 50-44 lead. Well, it's been quite the busy week for Jarvis Walker and Ben Shepherd. For the 4th straight game, the Pacers' first-round draft picks has suited up for the Mad Ants. Well, let's go ahead and just take you and give you a little glimpse into what their week has looked like. The two, they played in a New Year's Eve morning game with the Ants before traveling to Milwaukee to play with the Pacers against the Bucks. They didn't get back till 2:30 in the morning on Tuesday, and then had to play a game at night with the Mad Ants. They were back in a Pacers uniform last night to face the Bucks, and less than 24 hours later are here back on the same court at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Coach Hankins told me he thinks the most difficult part for them is just trying to stay focused between what they're learning and what they're doing with the Pacers and then coming in and joining this team. But he said the two have just lived up to their expectations, handling everything professionally, and he's seen a great deal of growth between those two players.